Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about road tripping in a Tesla. So we just got back from a road trip with the family. Probably one of the longest road trips we've taken, not just in a Tesla, in any vehicle as a family. 2,041 miles we went from Atlanta down through Miami and the Everglades, and then down to the Keys, and then back, of course, to Atlanta. That was a very long and hot trip, especially down in the Everglades. That was extremely hot. So we used a ton of energy, probably just sitting around or driving slowly through things and that sort of thing. So obviously, if you were not to be using the AC as much and just going straight road trip to a destination and then back, then a lot of these numbers would be different. But wanted to give an idea in our 2025 Model Y rear wheel drive with the 19-inch wheels, an idea of how much it would cost on a typical road trip. So again, longest trip we've taken. All right, so we did 18 charging stops. I have them listed out here, the exact cost of each. Often when we went to a supercharger, it was about, I believe 30, it was over 30 cents per kilowatt typically. So you can see we did 18 stops, although some of those 18 stops for charging were really just opportunity charging, where we, for example, went and got ice cream and then sat in the car at a supercharger while we ate the ice cream. So that's some of these charging stops that were more like $4.93. The ones that were actually on the drive, actually on the way back, these three charger stops here, 15, 90, 979, and 1772. Those are actually more typical range of what the charger stops would be. We typically get into the charger around 10% to 20% and then charge up to around 80%. You really don't want to go over 80% because it gets slow after that, and you really want to arrive at the charger closer to, really as close to zero as you can get comfortably. So we typically would like to get in there around 10% is ideal, because that way, once it's there at 10%, that's going to give you the best charging speed. And most of the charging stops that we went to were V3 or V4, meaning they could do 250 kilowatts peak charge rate on our Model Y. The V4 could do 325 on a Cybertruck, which we don't have, but that is something to consider if you were getting a Cybertruck. Some of those charging speeds really could go up to 325 kilowatt hours, but still with the size of the battery and the efficiency of the Cybertruck, you're looking at a lot more time probably at the superchargers. And we would often stay at the charger for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes, I'd say. For example, when we went to Buc-ee's, it was just enough time to get in and out of Buc-ee's. And so pretty much that's the convenience of actually a supercharger versus going to a gas station. Is you just plug in the car, everybody gets out, leaves the car there, and go, and you either get lunch or you go, to the restroom or whatever, take your break there, and then come back and you're pretty much ready to go. You don't usually have to wait on the car, at least in our experience. And even though it seems like a lot of charging stops, it was actually mostly convenient when we would want to stop anyway, either to go to the restroom or to have lunch. So overall, very happy with the convenience of it. Now, it was $223.98 total, which is a lot for fuel. That was calculated out if it had been a gas car and averaging $3 per gallon, which is what it seemed like, that would have been equal to 27 miles to the gallon, 27.3373. So that is obviously not that great. However, unless we had been driving a probably a hybrid, RAV4 would be like comparable. That would probably get about 40 miles to the gallon. However, I would expect that, again, with all of the situations where we would just drive around slowly, looking at stuff or in traffic and just having the AC blasting all the time, we likely would have been burning a lot more gas, and it would not have averaged 40 miles to the gallon. But maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Now, what's interesting about this is that at home, if we had done that same amount of energy, so the overall energy that we used was 583.2 kilowatt hours. And so at home, that would have cost us only $46.66. So that is the true advantage of that. Even though we were super inefficient on this trip, driving fast, super hot the whole time, it was actually, if we had charged at home, it would have been 131 miles per gallon equivalent. So definitely nice to see that, even though it is a long road trip and it did cost more than, say, if we had used a hybrid RAV4, for example. It may have cost more than that, but we don't road trip for all of our miles. Typically, we only do a couple big trips a year, and this is the biggest one we've done, so not really even comparable in that case. So if we do about 12,000 miles on the car a year, and say 2,000 of it is the road trip, the other 10,000 is going to be at that, even probably better than 131 miles per gallon, because we get much better efficiency around town. We were looking at more like 240 kilowatt hour, 240 watt hours per mile. Versus on this trip we did 285 watt hours per mile. So definitely less efficient. And you can see that from the starting efficiency that we had in the vehicle as a whole versus how much we increased the average watt hours per mile. But still, it was lower. So obviously, definitely getting better efficiency day to day. Yeah, so that's it for this one. It was just a quick overview of how much it costs to road trip in a Tesla. Yes, it is decently expensive, as would be any car, but it'd be kind of comparable to like taking like just a regular gas powered RAV4. Probably similar to that. And we definitely needed to have that space as in an SUV. Obviously, you could get some hybrid cars, or you can do a smaller car vehicle that would definitely be more efficient. But overall, we were very happy with the cost of this, and also the convenience, and having the Tesla be able to turn on the AC whenever you want. So you just get the car cool while we were in somewhere, and then once we get back to the car, it's nice and cool. That was definitely a lifesaver, and you can do that anywhere on your phone in the Tesla app. So that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.